Good morning, children. Children, in the previous class, I had already shared with you a video explaining the generation of computers, right? Today we will be looking at few of these points in this chapter from the textbook also, so that if there is any doubt, it would be clear to you all. Okay, so the chapter second, generation of computers. As you know very well, you can see over here. What is generation first of all? Generation is from the first generation, the grandparent, then children, grandchildren. Yes, one by one, the step by step. These are called the generation. As you can see in this picture also, here, this picture you can see there is this starting from grandparent to parent to children. All this grandparent is the first generation, then which is the second one, the parents are your second generation, then children, that means you are the third generation. So it is interesting to know that as human beings, your computer also has generations. We know about our generation, right? We know about our grandparents also. So they will be your first generation. Your parents will be your second generation. You know about your parents' generation, but in case of computers also there are generations, and it is interesting, right? We all have different generations of people in our family. Similarly, your computer is also classified into different generations. Let us learn about these generations. The term generation refers to the advancement in technology in the development of a product. The advancement in technology paved a way in developing computers. The development of modern day computer can be categorized into following generations. Now, what are the generation of computer? Is it so? Just as we saw in human beings, first generation, second generation, generation, is it so that the generation in these computers also are the same way? No. In computers, the evolvement of a technology is the generation of computer. You might be knowing about the mobile phones. I don't know, you have or not, you have seen or not, but a way back in before 10 years or so, the mobiles were not as you are using it right now. They were the mobiles were very small and they were having keypads. So and they were not android based, so you were not able to use WhatsApp and these many other applications in those mobiles. Nowadays in your mobile you can use lots of applications, as in now also you are using WhatsApp and classroom app and whatnot, right? So what is this? That is the evolvement of technology from a very small thing where you can use limited where the purpose of that particular technology is to a limited extent. Now it has increased to a wider extent. So the term generation refers to the advancement in technology in the development of a product. Got it? So here also in computers also the technology has advanced. The advancement in technology paved a way in developing computers. The development of modern day computer can be categorized into the following generations. Let us see how many generations the computers have. When we are talking about the first generation computers were very big in size, slow to work, and expensive in price. That is the peculiar things about that we need to note about the first generation computers. These generation began approximately in the year 1940. You can think about it. Our India got independent in 1947. So these first generation computers began when? It was before our independence, that is in 1940 approximately. And what was the technology they were using? Vacuum tubes. The size was very big, speed was very slow. Vacuum tubes and all, I have already shared you a video in which you can see it, right? Speed was very slow, storage was very less. Nowadays your mobile phones have storage how much? 32 GB, 64 GB, and so on, right? 128 GB, and so on. While before this, in the computers also, the storage was very low, maybe about in MBs. cost was very high, it was very expensive, reliability was very less. You cannot rely on the computation that or the answers that it would give. You cannot rely on it nowadays. While using computer, you can totally rely on whatever calculations they are providing us, right? So reliability was very less. Limitations were it emitted a lot of heat. Now you can imagine, first of all, the size is very big, it is emitting a lot of heat, so you cannot work over there, and it is not at all good for the computer also. So you need to place this computer into an air conditioned room to combat this heat, right? Now you can imagine that for this much big computer to put in an air conditioned room, how much expensive it would be in those days, right? So it was a huge limitation. The language used was the machine language, and the time period was 1945 to 1958. Up till 1958, we were using the first generation computers only. Now, vacuum tubes, which are shown in this picture over here. Now these vacuum tubes emitted a lot of heat, and as a result the machine got heated very soon and needed coolers or air conditioners to cool it down. The computers in this generation were very large in size, and as a result it was very difficult to trace out if any part was not in working condition. Now just imagine, if any part of the computer, if it is not working, so you need to go and repair it. Now such a huge computer is there, and now if it is any part of it is not working, how would you find out? You need to check each and every part of that computer, and it would be very tiresome and as well as time consuming, right? So it gradually evolved to develop a new technology, and we came to the second generation computer. Before that, we will see what are the examples of first generation computers. They are ENIAC and UNIVAC. ENIAC ENIAC, UNIVAC UNIVAC. These are the two first generation computers, and I hope you know the full form of this. It is your work to find out if you don't know, because you have learned this in previous class. Now we are moving to the second generation. In 1947, Bell Laboratories invented transistors which functioned like the vacuum tubes. Now the vacuum tubes in the second generation are going to be replaced. See, when we are talking about the generation of human beings, you might be seeing the clothing style of your grandparents in their childhood and the clothing style of yours in your childhood. Can you find out a difference between them? Yes. Same thing is over here, that the technology is developing, and in the Bell Laboratories in 1947, Bell Laboratories invented what? They are the transistors, and transistors were replaced by the vacuum tubes. Why? Because they were functioning just like the vacuum tubes. These transistors were faster, reliable, smaller and cheaper. The transistors replaced vacuum tubes. So why we are using transistors now? Because they were faster as compared to the vacuum tubes. They were reliable. You can rely upon their computing. They were smaller in size as compared to the vacuum tubes, as well as they were cheaper. So but obvious, there were many advantages. So we will be replacing the vacuum tubes with the transistors. And the technology used over here were the transistors we already discussed. Size was smaller than the first generation computers, speed was higher than the first generation computers, storage space also increased. So but obvious, if you are using 12 GB or 13 GB mobile, and you are technology is evolving and you are getting more GBs or storage space, so what you will choose? You will choose a high storage space device, right? So here also the storage space increased, cost also relatively less, reliability higher than the first generation computer. See, here we are comparing it with the first generation computer. We are not saying that it was much higher, but as compared to the first generation computer, it was higher. Limitations, again it emitted some heat. but not as much as the first generation. So emission of heat was also less. Language used was the assembly language, and time period was 1959 to 1964. Now, transistors were the electronic devices used in most electronic machines. One transistor could represent 40 to 15 vacuum tubes. So how many vacuum tubes in place of 40 to 50, this much huge vacuum tubes, if one transistor is we are using it, then it is but obvious that the space consumed or space occupied will be very less, and it is also obvious that it will also emit less of heat, right? And some examples of these generation computers were IBM 700, IBM 1401, Atlas, etc. And many more. There were many more. Now, let's see about the third generation computer. Transistors played a tremendous role in development of computer. But due its few limitations, the integrated circuits were invented. Number of transistors should be replaced on a single chip. Now what happened? Transistors, it was nice, but that also had few limitations, as we have seen. As compared to the first generation, transistors were good, but now we need to combat that few limitations also. So what happened then? Transistors played a tremendous role in the development of computer, but due to its few limitations, the integrated circuits were invented. A new technology called the integrated circuits, they got invented. Now number of transistors could be replaced by a single chip. Now you had seen over here the transistors in the second generation computers. These transistors were replaced by a single chip. There were, as we had seen in first generation computers, 40 to 50 vacuum tubes were replaced by one transistor. Now similarly 40 to 50 or I not the exact number, but few number of transistors would be replaced by a single chip. So here also the technology used was integrated circuits. Size was smaller than the transistors. Speed was higher than the transistor technology. Then the storage also again increased. Cost was less. Reliability was high. There was no limitations in this kind of this technology, and language used was high level language. See here the language is also evolving along with the generations. Time period was 1965 to 1970. These computers were relatively more durable and reliable. Some examples of these generation computers were IBM 360, IBM 370, ICL 1900. Okay, here see, you have to see the note. The integrated circuit or IC is also called chip. Integrated circuit, the other name of integrated circuit is chip. Now moving to the fourth generation computer. The invention of microprocessors made a dramatic change in the world of computers. Microprocessors are small single chips which are capable of performing calculations very fast. Now, in the fourth generation computer, in the third generation computer, we invented the integrated circuit, right? Now in the fourth generation computers came the role of the microprocessors. The invention of microprocessors made a dramatic change in the world of computers. So it brought a very huge change. Microprocessors are small single chips which are capable of performing calculations very fast. So here again the speed of the calculations also increased, the performance of the computer also increased. Here the technology used was large scale integrated circuits. Size was smaller. So you can see the first generation computer, moving from the first generation computer to the last higher generation computers or the new generations, what is happening? The size of the computer is diminishing gradually, right? So the size is smaller again as compared to the third generation computer. Speed is very fast, not the fast, it is very fast. Now storage is also very high, cost is less, reliability is very high, limitations are none. Language used is high level language. Time period is 1971 till date. So now also we are using this kind of computers. Now whichever computer we are using is the fourth generation computer. And some examples of this generation computer are IBM 4300, IBM 4300, ICE 2900. And you can see this is the microprocessor is shown over here. Okay. And here microprocessor is a single chip that can do all the processing of a computer. The modern PC personal computers use microprocessors. I think in the first chapter I have shown a video in which you were made aware about the microprocessors, right? If you are not aware of it, you can go through that video once again. Now moving to the fifth generation or the future computers. So now also we are not satisfied. We have this much good computers, but we are not satisfied. We still want to evolve our technology, and we are developing the fifth generation computers, and up to an extent it has already been developed. So let's see what is there in that. The computers of the next generation will have millions of transistors built up on a single chip. So here we were seeing before this the microprocessors were there. Now on a single chip there were millions of transistors will be there in a single chip. So you can imagine that how much speed it would have, right? And if the transistors are there in a single chip, that means it is not going to evolve much of heat also, right? Technology used is artificial intelligence, AI. You might be reading in the newspapers also, if you have the habit of reading newspapers about the artificial intelligence, a lot is coming in that too. Size is very small, speed is extremely fast, storage is extremely big. See, before this, what we were seeing very fast, very. Now it has changed to extremely fast, extremely big. Means as compared to the fourth generation, it is going to evolve in a much nice way. Cost is very less. Reliability is 100%. You can 100% rely on it, right? Limitations are none, and language used is high level language. Time period is yet to come. We don't know. We have developed, but it is yet to come in the market. Artificial intelligence is the technique which allows a machine to think and decide on its own. Can anyone tell how it's going to work? You might if you will surf through a YouTube, you will get few videos showing that if you click on any okay, let me give you an example. When you are asleep at night and you have scheduled for the tomorrow, that is decided, means you have a routine schedule. Then what happens is, if you have programmed your computer in a way that as you just wake up, your AC turns off automatically, and what happens is you need a coffee, so you just need to give an instruction, and your coffee is prepared for you. So all these things which technology is doing for you, a kind of a robot, is artificial intelligence. Okay. Okay, let's see what is here. Do you know a PlayStation is a fifth generation video game console first released by Sony Computer Entertainment in Japan on December 3, 1994. The computers can be classified into generations. The technology used in first generation was vacuum tubes. It is just a summary. The technology used in the second generation was transistors. The technology used in third generation was integrated circuits. The technology used in fourth generation was very large scale integration, which we are using right now. And the technology used in fifth generation was artificial intelligence. Every generation enjoyed smaller size and bigger storage capacity with better processing speed. In short, we have learned all this generation of computers. I hope whatever doubts you might be having after that video also, it would have been cleared right now, and the activities we'll be doing in the next class. Thank you.